Good day, grade 6s. Today we're going to formally start with our term 3 geography work, and I would like you to write today's date and also your next to your date write term 3, and then underneath your date write climate around the world. So we're going to look at these notes and some of the things we are going to copy from the screen. So just a reminder, it's work that you have done. Whether is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time in place. For example, in Edenvale on 16 June at midday, it is sunny and warm. There's no clouds in the sky and there is a gentle wind blowing. Climate is a country's normal weather over a long period of time. The climate changes very slowly over thousands of years. For example, the climate of Gauteng is characterized by hot summers with thunderstorms and very cold but dry winters. Now, if you look at the right-hand side, you will see a summary of the most important words, and we are going to copy that down. So the first block there you don't have to copy. Climate is what you expect, weather is what you get. So different parts of the world have different climates. Some parts of the world are hot and rainy nearly every day, and others are cold and snow-covered most of the year. Now, I want you to write down the following. We can divide the world's climates into 3 main groups. You are allowed to use colored pens to write this down, just to make it easier for you to study. So first of all, we have polar zones around the North and South Poles, and these are the areas that experience cold climates. Tropical zones around the equator where the climate is hot and humid. And then temperate zones in between the tropical and Arctic zones where the climate is mild or moderate. So after you've copied that from the slide, you're going to skip a line and write activity 1 vocabulary, and then you're going to write down the definitions for the following words: humid, temperate and moderate. You are allowed to use your dictionary. When you're all done, we're going to look at the video clip that follows. So the video clip is done now. The lady did talk a bit fast, but I think you have an idea of where every zone is. So if we look at the following map, you're not going to color the map. It has been colored for you. So world climate zones. So if you look at the blue color, you will see that's your polar zone, and at the bottom, north and south, your polar zones. Then the green areas are your temperate zones, and your red areas are your tropical zones. So your heading here will be World Climate Zones, and then we're going to do some writing again. So cold climates are divided into 2: polar climates and subarctic climates. Then you need to write down the polar climate of the Arctic around the North Pole and the Antarctic round the South Pole does not support life. In the Antarctic, the temperature never goes above freezing. Now that is quite freezing cold. The subarctic zone covers places such as Greenland, Labrador, Alaska, the far north of Canada, the far north of Scandinavia and Siberia. In winter in these areas, temperatures remain below zero and the rivers and lakes remain frozen. In summer, the snow melts and the plants can support animal lives. Your next heading will be hot climates. The areas between the equator and the lines of latitude, 30 degrees north and south, have hot tropical climates. These climates have rainfall all year. Temperatures are always high and the rain falls in summer in heavy thunderstorms. In winter there is less rain. Mild climates, your third heading. Mild temperate climates are climates such as that found in the British Isles, Northern Europe and New Zealand. Summers are warm and winters can be cold, with snow and freezing temperatures for short periods. Rain falls throughout the year but varies according to summer or winter. We're going to look at the following two maps. The first map is the world temperature map for January of the world, and that is for January. So if you look at the key at the left bottom, you can see the dark purple in January for a specific time, minus 40 degrees Celsius. You can clearly see those very dark purple. Then the quite lighter color, and that is minus 30. Then we go a bit lighter, minus 20, minus 10, and the white parts 0 degrees. And that's average temperature there for January. Then we move down to the light brown pinkish color, and we see they had an average of 10 degrees in January, and the darker one, which is more South America, Africa, most parts, India, southern part of Australia, 20 degrees, and then your darkest spot, 30 degrees. So we can clearly see it is summer in the southern hemisphere. Then we're going to look at map 2, and that's world temperature map for July. So here you can see the story is a little bit different. It's summer in the northern hemisphere, and there it looks a little bit better. We can see, well, in the poles obviously never that hot, minus 10 degrees, the white parts 0, then the lighter parts still cold because they're close to the Arctic Ocean, 10 degrees, the darker around 20 degrees, and you will see that we're also sitting in the 10 degree zone now because it's winter in July in South Africa. And then the darkest parts, they are up to 30 degrees because they have summer now. And you can see it's not getting that hot in the northern hemisphere in summer. So, next heading, activity 3, reading maps. And I want you to first write down the questions quickly and just leave 2 lines for every question to write your answers. So in question 1, we're going to refer to map 1, which parts of the world experience warmer temperatures. 1.2, give a reason why these areas are hotter in January. Then we're going to refer to map 2, and first you're going to answer again which parts of the world experience colder temperatures and give a reason why these areas are colder in July. So once you've copied the questions, we will go back to map 1 and you can answer your questions for number 1, and then we move to map 2 so that you can answer those questions. Please learn your definitions and everything that you've copied down today from page 1, as we will be writing a test during the next geography period. So we're on day 1 now. On day 2, which will be Friday, you will be doing history. Then next week you will be coming in on Tuesday and Thursday, meaning that day 1 will obviously be on Tuesday next week, on the 18th of August, and then your next day 2 will be on the 20th of August, on the Thursday. So next week, the 18th of August, we will be writing a spot test on today's work. Work neatly. Remember, you need to work from your presentations, which should be neat and legible.